Well, welcome back to the Crazy Blessed Show. We're talking with a mom today, as we do every Monday, because it's Master Mom Monday. And Joanna is going to rock your socks off because here's a woman who had every reason not to believe in herself. She tried everything, but she tried one more thing. And what happened as a result of that? This is going to blow your mind. I cannot wait for you to hear and watch this episode of the Crazy Blessed Show. Joanna, thank you so much for hanging out with me. This is amazing.
Absolutely.
And for everyone who doesn't know, Joanna is also my sister, which is such a blessing to be able to talk with my sister today. And it's funny because sometimes the people who you least think will come alongside on the journey, usually that's like your family, because they're like, I've known her forever, but here you are. You're like, you know what? I'm going to do Mom Master University. I'm going to get plugged in, and the changes that happened out of that, not because we're sisters, but because you said yes to yourself.
Well, you can't really watch you, regardless of if you're your sister or not, and not want to become involved with whatever you're doing. It's something like that. I'll have what she's having. From When Harry Met Sally.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'll just have whatever she's having.
Yeah,
that'll be
exactly.
good. But I want to talk about this because your story is so unique. I don't think it's as unique as it is your boldness to do something about your situation is what's unique. And I think it's available to every single person out there who finds themselves in a place of, I've tried everything and nothing's working.
Right.
So that's why I wanted to have you on Crazy Blessed Show today, talking about, Master Moms, because you have been able to step into a place that you thought was hopeless. And
absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about first of all, tell us a little bit about you, who you are.
I don't even know how old I am right now, but I've been overweight. I've dealt with weight issues my whole life, unless I was starving myself. I've been addicted to diet pills. I've tried everything. I've done Weight Watchers. I've done Nutrisystem. I've done, the juicing. I've done the grapefruits. I've done the cabbage soups. I have done everything. And I would lose, but I've also gained. I've cycled dieter, yo-yo up and down all the time.
So take us back to when it was like before Mom Master University, because that's what your life was like. You had tried.
I was at my lowest of my low. I was at 480 pounds. I had just been to the doctor, and I had seen him write morbidly obese. And I remember thinking, that's death. That's dying from being overweight. And I was just destroyed. And I came home and I talked to Hannah that day, and I said, I'm going to just do weight loss surgery. I don't know what else to do. I'm at the bottom. I don't even get out of bed. I'm depressed. I'm not around my children. I'm not a part of the family. And Hannah said, give me 3 months. Give me 3 months. And, if you still want to have the weight loss surgery, I'll support you. And, I'll help you find a good doctor. And just give me 3 months, which I gave her 3 months. And the change, it's hard for me not to get emotional, but I have a weight loss bucket list I have on my wall. And
it's totally okay. But wait, why should we not get emotional if we're talking about going from death to life?
Because then I get ugly crying and people won't understand what I'm saying as I'm talking. But every time I've reached one of those goals, I've taken a picture, and they are surrounding my weight loss bucket list. And the one that means the most to me is, one of them was on my bucket list was just shopping with my daughter.
I remember
going through the mall, because I could not even walk from the car into the grocery store to shop. And I wanted to shop with my daughter. That's all I wanted to do. And we took a picture going through the mall. And that picture to me is just worth everything in my life, everything, to be able to be a part of my children's lives, to be a part of the family again. But getting involved with Mom Mastery, and I tell you, it's not perfect. You have to do the work, because I stopped during quarantine. I stopped and I went into a funk. I went into a deep, dark funk, and I gained 35 pounds back. And I just had gotten into that same mindset of, I can't do it. I'm starting back up again. And I talked to Hannah, and I was on the finance track, and Hannah said, change your track to fitness. So I changed to fitness, and I started with the water, the movement, the non-processed foods, because there was one that I listened to that just basically talked about non-processed foods. And it just brought it all back to me. And this is so silly, but I call this finger. This is my validation fingernail. When I was 18.
Okay, for those who are listening, she has a perfect fingernail that she just showed on the Crazy Blessed show. Perfect fingernail.
When I was 18, I smashed it in a drawer working at Merrill Lynch. And the doctors could never figure out why the nail was smashed. It looked like when someone gets like a fungus on their fingernail, but it wasn't. And they had removed the fingernail. They had done biopsies. Nobody could ever figure it out. But in every picture of me, my hand would be like this. And I would always tuck my finger underneath, always like this.
Because it did look like it was bent, distorted. It looked like,
right. It looked like no fingernail, and it was all crushed in.
Yeah.
And so every picture, I would have my finger pulled back, just hiding it, every picture. And so maybe 2 months ago, I hadn't even noticed. I looked down and I was like, I have a fingernail here.
I have a freaking fingernail. What?
And I was so blown away. And I called Hannah, and Hannah was like, oh yeah. And I was like, no, I have a fingernail. She said, oh yeah, God showed me that and said, yeah, I can heal that. And I was just like, okay, so I have a validation fingernail that when things are getting rough for me, I am able to look down and say, no, this works. You stay on the path. Because this works.
Oh,
and if anyone wants me to send a picture of my fingernail, I will. It's the most important thing.
It is incredible. And we need those markers to say, wait a minute, God's way works. First of all, he's faithful to work it for me, and I'm worthy of that.
Right.
And so if we understand this, then we can look at any aspect of our life, whether it's our finances, whether it's what the scale says about our bodies, whether it's our fingernail, and say, wait a minute, God can change this. And that's what, like, you decided to get plugged in, and you were literally, like, when you say at the end of your rope, you were like, you thought, I'm going to die this way.
Oh yeah, I did. I was going to die in my bed. My kids would, and my kids always say, I never saw you as that way, Mom, but you couldn't participate in anything they did.
That way. Yeah. You couldn't. You were imprisoned.
Right. And during quarantine, when I let go and tried to take care of everything myself, I bottomed out. I failed miserably.
But what a beautiful story of, like, wait, can we allow ourselves to fall and get back up?
Yes.
Because you were at 480 pounds. So share how much weight you lost.
I had lost 240 pounds.
Okay. Can we just camp out of that for just a minute? Like,
I know.
A woman who had tried I remember you had tried hypnosis. You had tried.
Oh gosh. Everything.
And then when you got inside and invested in the highest priority of change, which is your mindset, like everyone always wants to say, well, do this diet or do this program or do this. When you start investing in the way your brain is wired as a mom and start working with the thoughts, that's when the weight fell off.
Exactly.
But then what's beautiful, oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and it basically did fall off. It was crazy to me. Every time I would go to the doctor, I'd be like, 3 more pounds, 3 more pounds. And he'd be like, oh, you're down another 8 pounds. And I'd be like, that's crazy. That's just crazy. And I'd just be like,
just, it works. It
yeah,
always
it
works.
absolutely works. And I've even felt the need and the call that I want to help other people who feel they're stuck in that cycle, that they can't get out of it.
Beautiful.
Because
And
a
now
lot of times
you're training to help
yeah,
people with food addictions.
exactly. I feel
So
like that's
beautiful.
what I'm supposed to do.
But see, this is the beauty. Like sometimes when a mom enrolls in Mom Master University, she's thinking, I have got to get my life together. Like it's like either my weight is out of control, or my kids are out of control, or my marriage is on the rocks, or my home is cluttered, or my finances are a mess. I got to get under control. But what they don't know, and I've seen this happen thousands of times, I see it in your life right now, is that it's not just about me. Yes, I'm going to get the change. Yes, I'm going to get, the weight will fall off. The money will come into place. The kids will transform. They'll be obedient. But what happens as a result of that is the impact now that I can make on the lives of other people.
Absolutely.
Like that's why we have the partner program, so that we
I
can
see it
help
so much.
moms
I
do
see it
this.
so much. In fact, going to the Mom Mastery experience in Washington, I had 2 women who knew me from Mom Mastery and spoke to me and told me how much it meant to them when I was so open with my story.
Wow. And we think we have to keep it to ourselves.
No, that you can't do that. You can't do that because it just burns up inside of you.
It does.
You have to just to get it out there. It just feels like such a release.
Yeah. And that is like the partner program is where we're now enabling people like, look, if you've had the change, now easy ways to just share with other people and profit from that. Like just grow your influence, grow your team, grow your impact in this world, because it doesn't.
And what an amazing thing that would be. I mean, what an amazing thing to reach other people, to be able to affect them that way, to have them feel the way you're feeling, to know that they can do it. They're not stuck in that little rut. They can do it.
Yeah. And what you said, I want to go back to what you said about it's not perfect, is that our lives are not, it's not like you like, okay, I did it. Yay. Everything's great. It's like, no, now I'm going to plug in. Now I'm going to put it to work, and I will give myself permission to not get it right. So here comes pandemic, threw you off your game, which it threw a lot of women off their game. And now like 35 pounds crept on, but it's like, okay, but now I'm not stuck. Now I know what to do.
Right.
I just have to like start the machine up again.
It's not the giving up. It's the getting back up. It's not the staying down. It's the getting up and going back through it.
That's like a tweet right there. That's like a tweet.
Exactly.
Like it's, oh my gosh, that is incredible. Like
I think make a shirt that says that, but that's the truth, because it gives you the ability to know, I'm not going to stay here. I'm not going to stay in this point. Whereas before it was like giving up. Oh, well, this is what I'm destined to be. But this is getting your rear end back up and getting back into it and becoming a part of life.
Wow, that's so good. And so understand, like you did not have the strategies before that. So I see a lot of moms who, because they're trying to create change in their life in a way that's not designed to work with the mom brain, sometimes they think they're a failure because like this diet won't work. Or I tried, this program, it didn't work, or my decluttering program didn't work, or my budget. So now we think I've failed, only because it wasn't designed to work with us anyway.
Right.
And so when you
if you see other people as successful with it, then it's just like, well, then it's me.
Wow, this person lost all the weight and I can't.
Right. So it's all me.
Right. And so when you say, wait a minute, that's why we're such strong proponents of understanding it's not you, it's your brain.
Right. I agree. Absolutely agree.
Yeah.
And we make it more complicated than we have to also.
Girl.
We make it so much more complicated than we have to.
100%.
And it's just getting into, and I'll tell you the things that I have learned. Some of the things I've learned through Mom Mastery that have made the biggest difference is journaling and having a support group. Those two things, it's impossible without that. I have learned so much through my journaling about my emotional eating that it's crazy to me. It's crazy. And if I don't have that support, if I don't have someone that I can call and say, hey, I'm in the Chick-fil-A drive-through and I want French fries. If I don't have someone that I can call at that moment, then sometimes you're weak. Sometimes you're really weak and you need someone to remind you of why you're doing it and how strong you are and how blessed you are. And those are two things I have really gathered from that.
That's
from
so valuable. Like the support group inside Mom Master University, like when you don't have the energy and sometimes like our lives as moms, we're going and sometimes we inadvertently put ourselves last. But sometimes when you're at that point, you've got to have those people who are like, no, not today. You're not.
And oh my gosh, if you even put out if on Facebook, on the Mom Mastery, if you put out a Facebook post that says, I'm struggling, blah, 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 you've got like bam, 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 bam. You've got it support from everywhere coming at you. So it's crazy. And
now you can see where everyone is. So it's like, all right, I'm 20 minutes away. I'm coming. I'm meeting you at the Chick-fil-A and I'm dragging you.
I'm going to be there knocking those fries out of his hand as he's handing them to you. Take that, Chick-fil-A.
But you gotta have that.
Absolutely, you have to have that.
You gotta have those people. So you're back on track. You're now not just like you're losing the weight, which you're on that track anyway, but now you're helping other women who have food addiction get out of that. Like you thought you were getting inside Mom Master University to get your weight under control. But now you're impacting the world of other women who think they cannot.
Because a lot of people are coming from a place where they've never been overweight. And in fact, just to pick on you for a little bit, in the fitness track, it says the water to drink half your weight in ounces. Well, if you're 480 pounds, you're not drinking 240 ounces of water in a day. And so, it's like, I stick to the 100 ounces a day to make sure I get that in. But sometimes people aren't coming from a place where they understand that. It's because it's a mind, like, it's just the overweight mindset is just weird sometimes. And that's weird. What I'm really excited about this, because I feel like that's one reason I can help some people, because I get what they're coming from. I know what it feels like to walk into a restaurant and say, oh God, it's all booths. What am I going to do? I know that feeling and I can relate to them with that. And I can say, you know what, that's okay. Make that your next goal. Make that your next goal to walk into any restaurant and be able to fit into the booth.
How did it feel like sliding into the booth for the first time?
Oh my gosh, fitting into because the worst booths in the world are Waffle House. And being able to, I took my son there for his birthday last week, and being able to sit in that booth, it's just like, and to other people, it's no big deal. They just slip into the booths.
Right.
To be able to get into that Waffle House booth, it's just like,
it's freedom. That's what it is. It's freedom.
It is, because, and it's that feeling of not walking in there and feeling that, oh gosh, it gives you just that freedom of being able to walk in there with, I don't care, let's sit wherever we want to sit. We want to sit by the window, let's do it.
So powerful. And now you're helping women get that same feeling.
That's exactly what that's my goal, is just to make that I want to reach as many people as I can with that.
And that's what you're doing. Like even right now, being on the Crazy Blessed show, sharing your story. And so much changed when you decided, I'm worth this. I'm getting inside Mom Master University. And understand, I wasn't like, oh, I'll pay your way. I'm like, girl, if you want this, get inside.
Right. Oh no, yeah, it was never that. It was you didn't like say, this is what you do, this is what you do. I had to go in there and do it myself.
Yeah.
And it's just And I think that's part of why you realize you're worth it. It's the effort you put into it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sitting and listening to the programs and doing the different sheets. And I think that's why you get so much out of it.
And I didn't want to rob you of that power of participating in your transformation.
Right.
Like, I believe something happens when you're like, I am faced with a decision where I have to invest in myself and put skin in the game, or else I'm not going to get anything out of it. Right. And I didn't want to deny you of that. And then you had to, like, people are like, oh, well, she's your sister. No, you had to do it. I'm like, here's what we're going to do.
Oh, Lord, no. Hannah does not believe in handouts. Trust me. I've tried. She doesn't believe in handouts.
It's because it would deprive you of the power of saying, even in the face of not wanting to and being scared to and having 1,000 reasons not to, I did it.
And if I hadn't gone through it myself, that wouldn't be there.
So what would you say?
I probably wouldn't have had the strength to come up from, quarantine. I wouldn't have known the process to come back from that.
You wouldn't. No. You wouldn't know that I've got something in my pocket that I can just pull out. Oh, this happened. That's okay. I'm down, but I'm not staying down. I have the thing that's going to help me get back up.
Exactly.
So what would you say to that woman who maybe they don't feel like I've tried everything, nothing will work, but just it could be that woman, or it could be someone who's like, can I do it? Like, nothing I have done has worked. Can I do this? What would you say to that woman who's thinking about enrolling?
You absolutely can do it. Taking that first step is the first step in believing in yourself. And that gives you the confidence to take the next step, which gives you the confidence to take the next step. And I mean, I've seen people through Mom Mastery who were terrified to even do a video.
Yeah.
They were terrified of it. And the confidence that they would get gradually and just the more steps, the more support, until, they're natural at it. You see that with everybody through there. And there's one thing I also want to say is, in all the things that I have joined, Weight Watchers and everything, there's never been the support that there has been like there is with this program. Never. You don't even have to reach out sometimes. You just have people that are checking on you. That to me is so important, because the days when you wake up and you say, I can't do it today. I can't do it. I'm fighting with my daughter. My son is struggling with something. What is the point? I just want to give up today. That is when you need someone to have your back, and you don't have to go looking for them. They're right there. And they say, you can do this. And by getting your butt up and doing it, you're showing them that they can do it also. And that to me is worth everything. It's worth everything.
I mean, just the community alone,
is worth it all. It's worth it all.
Joanna, thank you so much for being raw and real, and also not just changing your life and having the boldness to say, you know what, I'm going to try one more thing. Nothing else has worked. I'm going to have the boldness to just try one more time. But now what's come out of that is you helping other people. And this is what I believe.
It's just, like I said, I get so emotional about it, because it's, it's a lot of emotional baggage with it. And a lot of people don't realize that. Mm-hmm. And I do. And I want to be there for those people who think that nobody does understand that.
Yeah. So I want to talk to that person who right now you may feel alone. You may feel that no one understands. You may feel, you know what, I've tried everything. Nothing's worked. This is just my life. I want to encourage you. Try one more time. Believe in yourself one more time.
One more time.
Because when you do that, what I know and what Joanna knows is you're going to be blessed like crazy.